Champions League is back. Quarterfinals are here, and they're not going to disappoint. I am sure we're going to see historic moments this week. I'm sure. I'm going to go bold and say that. But let us know down below your predictions for the Champions League, and we'll comment saying if we agree or disagree, and like this video for more predictions like this. Are you ready, Bretson, to predict the Champions League like this?
I believe I am. I believe I am. My gosh, some of these are mouthwatering. Where do you even want to start? Do you want to start with the No.
No.
Yeah, go ahead.
And all of them are fantastic. Let's start here with the one I think is the easiest one to predict. Atletico against Dortmund. What are you feeling here, Brett?
You think this is easy?
Yeah.
Dortmund with a loss over the weekend. Atletico with their crap form previous to this, but kind of playing a little bit better now. I still am going to go with Atletico Madrid on this. Wait, no, I think I had Dortmund the first time we did this.
Well, no, you had Dortmund going through with the 2 legs, but this leg, Atletico at home.
Yes.
Do you think Dortmund's going to win it?
No, I don't think that. No, I'd be stupid. I'd be stupid to think that. I mean, Griezmann has to be in good form, or even playing. Is he back? He's back healthy, right?
I think he'll be, yes. But even so, like,
should be.
I believe Atletico will win against Dortmund. Atletico in the knockout stages with Diego Simeone have never lost any game in Champions League history with Simeone in that scenario. So I think Atletico will win, and I'm actually going to say they'll win by 2 goals. So Terzic is going to have a bad night in Wanda Metropolitano. So here, I think this is, I'm not going to say the third most interesting game because I think the outcome of this will be historic. PSG against Barca. What are we thinking here, Breton?
Well, PSG is doing what they can to get everybody prepped and ready, handing a couple debuts to some 17-year-olds from the youth academy over the weekend in a draw against Clermont. Marquinhos having his 435th appearance, becoming the co-appearance leader for PSG all time. I mean, some fun little milestones over the weekend. Now, none of that matters if Kylian Mbappe is not on point. And right now it's Kylian Mbappe versus, it's crazy to say, versus Lamine Yamal. And I just think with PSG at the Parc des Princes to start, but I think they'll be fine.
But if Lamine Yamal's the man of the match, that would be
That'd
unreal.
Be insane.
That would be the bold prediction that we want to see here.
It would solidify the fact that he has that cold gene, right? That he has that ability to just not get rattled by any situation. And 16. I don't know if that's the naivete of being 16 years old, or if that is fully ingrained in him. You know, something happens when you go from 16 to like 25 and more self-aware, right? You become a little more less confident sometimes, or you worry about what other people think about you. He's at this perfect age where he literally could go into Parc des Princes and score 2 goals, and it would not surprise me in any way, shape, or form.
Oh, man.
Right.
If Lamine does this, the world's going to erupt. Especially when Mbappe is favorite to go to Real Madrid next season. So everybody's going to be... Look, if Barca go bold and Lamine Yamal has a masterclass against PSG, people are going to start to be saying next season, it's Lamine Yamal versus Mbappe, Vini, and Rodrigo. And if he's getting standing ovations already in the Bernabeu, the potential is there towards making history. La Masia's greatness. And you said it. PSG Barca is all about Kylian Mbappe. Because, yes, he's the best player in both teams. And Mbappe will have to face this Barca team that last season had a fantastic defense and is slowly improving now that Cubarsí is there. Cubarsí, Condé, Ronaldo Araújo, Christensen, Ter Stegen, João Cancelo. I think Barca in both legs. I've said it. Bold statement. I think they're going to go through. I even get scared saying it with both legs. And if they're going to go through with both legs, they have to get a positive result here in France. So I'm going to go bold and say that Barca draw against Paris Saint-Germain. For me, a drawing is already bold when you have Kylian Mbappe on the other side. They're going to learn from
absolutely.
They're going to learn from
absolutely. But this is a Kylian Mbappe that has scored a hat trick in the World Cup final, still lost.
And 3 years ago.
Him doing it Oh, that's true. But like him doing it away from home. And remember, Barca doesn't. Yes, they have a home, but that home is not yet fully built, so they are playing away. I don't know if that's going to come into the situation, but I do think you said Ter Stegen.
Mm-hmm.
I am also going to say a name that he's not that old, but we don't really talk about him anymore that much, right? And that's Gigio Donnarumma.
Mm-hmm.
And that goalkeeper battle, I think you're onto something in saying that it is going to come down for me. The difference between the two is going to be who stands on their head away from home. Who gets it done away from home. And Donnarumma, believe it or not, as of late, has shown some very, very good performances for them. Ones that reminded you of the AC Milan past, right?
He's not better than Ter Stegen,
so we'll see if he's round. Do you think he's better than Ter Stegen on his best day or no?
No, not better. Right
but
now,
I think you're right. Like Ter Stegen consistently, I think is better. But I think Donnarumma is capable of literally winning a game by himself.
Well, we did see that in the Euros. But Ter Stegen, though, I think is guarantees in terms of quality. But let us know. Are you team Ter Stegen or team Donnarumma? That's an interesting one. But you think PSG are going to win against Barcelona, right, Breton?
I think PSG, the draw seems very fair. It does. But the funny thing is I don't really see anyone but Lamine Yamal scoring for Barcelona at Parc des Princes. So if they can figure out a way to shut him down, I'm going to give PSG a 1-0 win here.
Isn't it mad when on the other side we could have Ousmane Dembele starting and you're saying that about Lamine Yamal? That is mad. That's mad. How life works.
Yeah. Oh, to be young again. Ousmane Dembele is a perfect example of what happens when you get older with this, right? He's too in his head. A lot, like I bet his hamstrings, his quads keep him up at night in terms of what his expectations are for him. I bet he wishes he was 17, 18 years old again playing for Stade Rennais, right? When it was carefree and he just bombed down the wing. That's what Lamine Yamal is experiencing right now.
I don't think so. I disagree. I think Dembele is very happy in Paris Saint-Germain, earning the good bucks and playing with his best friend Kylian Mbappe.
Oh, well, but he is happy about that.
Would not switch, and that's what I love about Lamine Yamal. I think he would not switch with any club the position that he's with. He loves the club that he grew up, and I fully believe he visualizes being the best player in the world at Barcelona, and that's what's beautiful. He said he fell in love with the club with Neymar. Neymar would make him want to see the football in the Camp Nou. Isn't that beautiful when you're like 11, 12 seeing Neymar live? He experienced it, and he got motivation from it. So, man, it's scary times.
But Alex, this opportunity for Lamine Yamal only arises if Barcelona is going through the period that they're currently going through.
I disagree.
Right?
He's 16.
Well, no. I do agree that I know where you're going with this and saying that I do agree that Lamine Yamal, the cream does rise to the top of the crop. Is that how it's? I forget how it did. Yeah, whatever. But you get what I'm saying. Like, obviously, if this was Messi, Neymar, Suarez years,
it'd be longer.
Right? It would be longer, and there'd be more question marks about whether or not he gets the opportunity. But because out of turmoil, out of volatility arises opportunity, and that is what Lamine Yamal has grabbed and made his own. And it's really, really flippin' impressive, even if he is younger than I would like him to be at this moment. But it showed that they are learning from their lessons, that they are talking to the right people, in that Lamine Yamal has, I think, already out of his mind, out of sight, out of mind. He has said, I'm not planning on going to the Olympics, right? And that is one of the smartest things that he could do for himself.
Biggest wins I've heard this today, mate, if that's the case.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so happy for Barca. They learned from the Pedri situation. Exactly. Mate.
Absolutely.
Oh, so good. That next season, Barca will be having Lamine Yamal, Pau Cubarsí, Gavi, Pedri, Fermin Lopez, Hector Fort, Alejandro Balde, all these La Masia players, injury-free, ready to make history against the Galacticos. They have a team to make history for sure. The new Galacticos. Guti even said that they're better than the 2014. That's a bold statement itself. When they get Figo, Florentino Perez first year. Please watch that documentary if you can. Okay, it's interesting to see what Florentino Perez did. And we did mention that Xabi Alonso, this whole thing, Florentino Perez is 10 steps ahead, and we're like, what, one step ahead? So he's the equivalent.
Something like that.
So, but this PSG Barca, let us know your choices down below on what we said. Now, Arsenal, Bayern, Munich. Two teams that are living two different lives right now in football. Arsenal, consistent, top group, very happy with their manager. Bayern Munich, inconsistent, not happy with their manager, and the group does not look united. Two different lives right now between both. So what are you thinking here, Bretton?
Well, let's very quickly recap what just happened to Bayern over the weekend. They lost to their first newly promoted team in Heidenheim since 2000. So in 24 years. And this Heidenheim team had scored 38 goals, one of the worst in the league coming into this, and they put 3 goals up on Bayern Munich. Not only on Bayern Munich, but on a Bayern Munich center back partnership that is supposed to be much better than that, right? In Min Jae Kim, thank you, and Upamecano. So 36 plus goals conceded for Bayern this season. Compare that to Leverkusen's 19, and it's absolutely bonkers. And Harry Kane is the only trophy he's got to go after now is the Champions League. And you can look at that in a good way, and the Euros. You're right. But he's got to be in a club shirt for that to kind of work out. But you're right. Absolutely. But here's the thing. It's like it goes back to everyone was like, oh, they're going to keep Thomas Tuchel, right? No. Get that new manager bounce, not the new permanent manager, but put somebody in charge that talks him up, much the way a De Rossi is putting himself into firm, pole position to probably become the full-time AS Roma boss, right? And you could have had somebody within that system, within Bayern's system, give them that kick in the butt that they need. But keeping this guy around made no sense whatsoever at all. And here's what it comes down to. That Heidenheim game literally is a microcosm of this season, and it's been unraveling, and it's probably the pinnacle or the paramount of what we're looking at here. And yes, they go in to face Arsenal at the Emirates first. And my gut tells me Arsenal's going to rip them apart. But then you have to remember, these players have nothing else to play for right now.
Exactly. Individual quality.
It's dangerous.
Kane is back in London, mate. Can Harry Kane score a hat-trick against Arsenal?
I don't know, but man, I don't wish this on anyone's. Like, Harry Kane's worst enemies are probably laughing.
Can I ask you this?
There's no way that they're.
Will Gabriel and Saliba have a tougher game against Harry Kane than they had against Erling Haaland?
If I'm Harry Kane, I'm like channeling 5 Haalands. Yeah, I'm pissed to no end. I know Harry Kane doesn't look like he ever gets pissed, but this. I could see Harry Kane just unloading on them.
Exactly. He's got more than 30 goals this season. That's like, look, the situation of this game is, it just makes it box office. Like, the Champions League, any TV channel doesn't need to advertise a Real Madrid, Man City, an Arsenal, Bayern, and a PSG Barca. Like, every single game is leveled, and they're the right opponents for each other. Arsenal against Bayern Munich, like, I believe Kane will have a masterclass against Arsenal in the Emirates. I believe that will be the case. And unfortunately, bad decision from the Bayern fans, the ultras, you can say, the more extreme fans. They threw fairy lights and Lazio, so they can't go and see the game in the Emirates. So all the seats that were supposed to go to Bayern fans, they're going to Arsenal fans. So the Emirates will be electric. And if there's a stadium that you don't want to be electric for a team, is Arsenal, because they live from that energy. Arteta's made a fantastic job working from the fans with the team connection. And that's something that I have very strong Arsenal.
So you think Harry Kane is going to put in such a performance that the whole of Emirates gets up and gives him a standing ovation as he leaves? No. I'm kidding.
How many goals
kidding,
would that need to be? 5 goals.
It is. I know it is ripe. It is ripe for a weird scenario like that. Mm-hmm. And there's something needs to happen right away. Mm-hmm. Somebody needs to put a crunching tackle on him. Something needs to happen to where you put that possibility out. You put that light out. Any light, you kill it. Yeah. Because otherwise, the longer you leave, it is still Bayern Munich, right? Just because they're a wounded dog doesn't mean they can't bite.
Exactly.
So
if we're talking
really
about quarterfinals, they're the team in this new Champions League, not format, but this new Champions League branding. They're the team that has gone to the quarterfinals the most in the history of the competition. So it's interesting. And it's the first time of Arsenal with Arteta in the Champions League in the quarterfinals. And this weekend giants of Bayern Munich could be the right opponents towards saying, we're here to make history. And look, we're going to go bold and win the Champions League. If that happens, mate, I'm going to be like, this is one of the biggest things I've ever seen in football. Arsenal winning the Champions League when no one's expecting it. Like, what?
But Alex, this is also a Bayern Munich that just lost to a team that has a smaller wage bill than Harry Kane himself.
That's a good way of
that's
saying
what
it.
This is.
And
that's what that is literally what happened. And yes, that guy needs to be fired yesterday for fumbling a center back partnership. Upamecano, De Ligt, and Kim Min-jae. Come on.
Yeah.
You're making him look second Bundesliga.
And you still get Eric Dyer.
And you still also got Eric Dyer. I really don't understand it. I don't understand it at all. And I don't think Thomas Tuchel should be.
But I'm with you.
Should be elsewhere anytime
soon. Tuchel loses to Arsenal, he's immediately sacked. I completely agree with you. No, Bayern Munich are knocked out. He's immediately out because he cannot live being in that locker room with the failure of going and losing to Arsenal in 2 legs. So what are you going with here, Breton? Arsenal, Bayern Munich?
I'm going to think, Arsenal is exercised. They're drilled. They're ready for this. Their eyes are on the prize. I think that Brighton win is only going to give them even more steam to get this done. Okay. So I am still going with Arsenal not letting the Harry Kane masterclass happen at the Emirates.
I'm going to go with Arsenal winning by 1 goal. I think they're going to win, but I don't know if it's going to be 1-0, 2-1, or 3-2. I think it's going to be an equal matchup, and it's going to be by 1 goal because of that atmosphere. Yes. And now, the big match, the blockbuster match of the Champions League, Real Madrid against Man City. First game is in Madrid. How are we feeling, Breton?
Oh, my gosh. This is one where I have to wimp out. I have to be a little baby about this, and I have to say they're going to draw.
They're gonna
draw. I feel too babyish about this. Now, what I'm hoping is that it actually winds up being like a 2-2, something, some sort of a barn burner to get things off nicely. But yeah, you look at it and it's Real Madrid has more weapons, in my opinion. They have more weapons. Heading into this, Erling Haaland, while he got a goal, is not in crazy form, and he also has shown that he hasn't necessarily played his best ball in the later rounds of the Champions League, right? But that's also something he probably wants to correct. So, and then you look at it, and Real Madrid has Eder Militao back.
True.
There's a lot of positives kind of heading into this for both clubs, I guess.
There is.
But obviously Real Madrid at the Bernabeu is something different. But I am going to go the weakling, the coward's way. I'm going to say that this is a 1-1 draw, and it goes back all to play for at the Etihad, with everybody needing to remember that there are no away goals rule. So it's going to be interesting.
I'll say Real Madrid beats Man City in the Bernabeu. I'm getting the growing feeling that we're going to see history in this matchup between both teams. I don't know if it's going to be Jude Bellingham, Vini Jr., Rodrigo Goes, Camavinga, but that's the player that I'm going to say highly want to watch against Man City. Camavinga will play with Toni Kroos in my view. I think Valverde is one of the best midfielders in the world. I think he's very special for what he adds to this Real Madrid team. But the high intensity that Camavinga can have in the midfield, next to an experienced player like Toni Kroos, can be one of the biggest things that can contain a Man City team that controls the middle. They control the middle with De Bruyne, with Foden, and Rodri. And if you're going to beat this team, it's by doing just that, controlling the middle in the other side with Jude Bellingham.
Yeah.
Jude Bellingham, it can be the catalyst of beating Man City. Or if Jude Bellingham has a bad game, they will not win for sure. He's the difference maker. So
will Ederson be back?
Ederson will not be back. Ortega will be playing.
Yeah, so it is all Ortega, which
but he's playing good. He's playing against Palace. Confidence is there. Very good on ball. Very good saves. But yes, that is something that we can point fingers upon. But but this is interesting though. Ederson's injured. Ortega steps up. Alisson's injured. Kelleher steps up. Courtois is injured. Lunin steps up. So the second goalkeepers of the top teams, many teams are like thinking, please come to us. We want you. Okay. And that's good scouting and just shows that if you're going to be at the top, you got to do things the right way. And that shows the quality that they have in the team.
Meanwhile, David De Gea is still sitting at home eating crisps,
I
right?
said Sporting should go and get David De Gea. They got Peter Schmeichel in the past and immediately out of Man United to Sporting. Why not? Come on, get De Gea. And De Gea would love this project. Imagine. But that can happen next season. Let's wait and see.